that comeback that they need.
Yeah, I mean, I think like you said earlier, it really comes down to Universe and Sneyking moving because their tri-lane, level 2 Rubik, Wisp with just now picking up her boots. Can they actually go in? They're going to try. Prophet ult splashing through. Looks like they maybe wanted to go for a waveform into a tether stun, but just could not quite get in range in time. Rattlesnake will back off, reset, and reload.
It was a smart attempt by AUI because they realized that one of the enemy support was dewarding them, so they had the number advantage. And it could have been a smart go if they got the range for that waveform. Obviously, good retreat here by Rattlesnake.
It's 2 prongs of pressure right now. Luo just consistently pushing that top lane. The glitch
nice
there
deny.
and a beautiful deny. Universe finding one against the Gyro who solo killed him. That's impressive.
Universe with those phase boots really helping out here. And of course, he's also been jungling a little bit here on the camp that Way2 has been stacking. So Universe is hopefully making that comeback. His next item choice will be the Mahana Midas.
I mean, I'm just looking at Rattlesnake, 3 cores, all leading in terms of net worth. Dignitas, obviously a great comeback lineup. You've got global ganking prowess. You've got a lot of burst damage in the mid game. But it also feels like if Rattlesnake get a few core items, like your BKB on Lamb in the mid game, a fast BKB on the Gyro, he's not going for one, Lumi. Quelling Blade for Luo. Helm of Iron will up. He's going to stack some Ancients, and they're looking to take this a bit later against Wisp and against Prophet.
Quelling Blade on a ranged hero, some of you guys might be scratching your head. It is, I think, really for the Nature's Prophet, because Sprout is going to be one of the ways to lock down Luo early on, and Quelling Blade is a free get-out-of-the-jail card for him. Obviously, it helps you farm a little bit, although for Luo, his last hit is generally very good, so he shouldn't need it.
Dignitas still hiding on and hanging on, and of course, like we talked about, not only are they a great team at avoiding fights, but they're a great lineup to do it. You've got so many defensive ways to escape, disengage, and split push, and if the enemy team can't 5-man fast enough, they'll back, and you get to farm more. 3 heroes back to the bottom lane. I mean, it's a level 2 Rubik, Lumi. This guy needs a bailout.
He does, and I don't know where that balance is coming from. Look at these Illuminate harass. I mean, sure, he's not hitting these Illuminates, but it doesn't matter because these supports are just playing so scared. Way2 roaming around here, trying to set up a kill, but he's got to be careful because Lamb could easily turn around and initiate right on him.
Both teams fighting for their tournament lives. Sneyking with a haste thrown up, back to the middle lane. Getting closer to his next item, 45 CS. He is still winning mid when it comes to farm. Unfortunately, though, the Weavers just had a little more early movement. And now Rattlesnake still 2 heroes bottom. They'll actually rotate off the lane. Kabu heading back towards mid. To be fair, Rattlesnake supports aren't getting too much either. Level 3 Naga Siren. Level 5 Keep of the Light is pretty good, but trading that for Wisp, that's a trade I'll take any day if I'm Dignitas.
So I think Rattlesnake is making a smart move by not diving the enemy tower. I mean, they are winning that bot lane so hard, but they're not making a dive just yet because they respect the TP that could come from Sneyking. Speaking of TP, one comes from Rattlesnake, and they want to make a go on Sneyking. Sneyking has a Timber Chain, so he should be absolutely fine. Drops a couple of nukes, but here comes the net. We need a stun. There's just no vision, and Lamb makes a TP, does not get a kill.
Dignitas were hoping and praying that he went there. They had 3, actually make it 4 heroes, all parked in the middle lane. If Rattlesnake went there, that's probably 3 dead for them. So good decision to disengage, and they really dodged the bullet.
But it's like you said, LD, it just goes back to the global map pressure. Luo on the top lane putting a ton of pressure. Of course, the TP going to mid lane now pressuring Sneyking, and finally AU has some breathing room in the bot lane. But if you look at CS, it's only got 31, and Morphling needs like 10 times that to really start, going.
Yeah, let's not forget about Tether. Overcharge as well. Morphling can do more with less because he's got a Wisp, one of the best utility supports in terms of buffing up your carry in the game. But yeah, he needs a lot, and in general, Morphling needs more than Gyrocopter to fight. He's a great split pusher, he's a pretty strong farmer, but an early Helm of the Dominator on Luo, you can see the Ancients being stacked. Dignitas have not dewarded this yet. They should have spotted the Helm of the Dominator now, but...
Ooh, initiation on the bot lane here. Reality Rift being used by the Chaos Knight. That's going to force AI to morph a tiny bit to strength.
See, here's the problem, Lumi. Their supports are so poor and so squishy, I don't actually think they can even go ward the Ancients, even if they wanted to.
Well, forget about the Ancients a minute, because we're going to see Luo TPing on the bot lane. I think we're going to see a little bit of pushing coming out from Rattlesnake.
Kabu has access to net. Riptide online. Fog, not yet level 6, but getting close. If they dive him and he has it, he can buy back and re-engage. Universe, still no ganks from him, working towards a Hannah Midas. Dignitas haven't lost any towers aside from that tier 1 top, and now we'll see Fog, a beautiful tether away, dodging the gang. They will be most likely forfeiting a tier 1 bottom, though. That's a pretty big tower loss early on. Their jungle now, not very safe, and they're a team that really wants to take advantage of the jungle.
Yeah, not too much that Dignitas could do about it. They're down behind, but I really like what they're doing in the mid lane. They're saying, hey, you know what? We can't fight bot. Let's put some pressure on the mid lane and try to get something going our way. But Neo comes in there, or Sagam as he's called right now.
Yeah, here's the problem. You're up against Keeper of the Light.
Yeah.
You can't really push, at least not now. Maybe if your Morphling gets really fat, but for the next 10 to 20 minutes, pushing with minions, pushing with a few heroes is not going to be that easy.
Well, it looks like AUI has actually used his waveform on the bot lane. That is kind of his get out of jail free card. And Lamb is just doing a little bit of harass. One interesting thing to point out is that he does have an early level of Sphantasm. Generally, Chaos Knight don't pick it up until like level 9.
He's just toying.
Look at
with
these
AUI
horse
now.
harass.
He's pump faking repeatedly. AUI, though, not to be fooled by it, just hanging back, playing it safe. And there's your Midas for Universe. Gives up a first blood, but still has found himself a 13-minute, sub-13-minute Midas. And Prophet, a hero, if you leave him unchecked, he'll catch up.
Dignitas is on the way to come back because Wisp has also hit level 6, and I think he's thinking about porting Snake King somewhere. He is by far the most dangerous hero against Rattlesnake at this stage of the game, but they just don't see anybody that they can pick off on the mid lane, or anybody on the, anywhere on the map, to be honest.
Both teams just continuing to find farm. Lamb now off the bottom lane, rotating around. They didn't actually kill the Wisp at all in this tri-lane. They haven't killed the Morphling. They have shut down his farm a lot, but Dignitas, it seems like losing that tier 1 bottom may have actually helped them because Rattlesnake are just content to sit back. They've abandoned the tri-lane. They seem a little aimless to me, Lumi. These supports moving around but not really putting any pressure on the map and not farming too much.
I completely agree with that. Losing the tower on the bot lane, AUI says, thank you very much. Now I have free farm room here. And if you look at the goal graph, despite losing so poorly, and we've been saying they've been losing for a long time, the goal graph doesn't really say that Rattlesnake's leading by too much. And the experience is actually going back in the direction of Team Dignitas.
Oh, relocate to the top lane. Kabu's in trouble. Only level 5, and they blow him up. Relocate. Will it be enough? They lose the Wisp on the way in. It's a 1-for-1, support for support, but Dignitas with a haster on Snake King, they'll go right back to farming.
Yeah, I mean, when you're trading effectively and evenly when you're losing the game like this, that's all you can ask for. They also have drawn a TP out of Lamb, which is, the secondary carry for the team, so he's not really doing too much at the top lane. He's out of mana also. So I think that was really a great find for Team Dignitas. And of course, Wisp, once his relocate cools down 1 more minute, they'll keep looking for these kills.
Watch out for Spidey. He throws out the chakram off the mark, but now they're going back in. Here they go the other direction. Snake King, however, a very tanky foe. Can they bring him down? The Sprout's there. He's still alive. He just keeps on going. Throws it out again. Will he fall? Bottling up. How is he living? How is he living? Why is he living? I don't even know. Kabu on the way out. Kabu zap from the backside. And way too sexy, turns it around. You just can't kill Spider-Man like that, Lumi. He ain't an easy kill.
I never knew Spider-Man has so much armor because reactive armor just put him and gave him so much healing. In fact, it was Lamb that was close to dying, but really good recovery from Team Dignitas. And guess what? That risk relocate back in 15. I think they're looking for more.
Yeah, he might be more of a spawn because, man, he was like super Spidey. He just would not die. And this is the thing. Once you get that level 3 or 4 Timber Chain, it's very hard to kill him. And Snake King lives through it all, goes back to base and heals up. And if Dignitas are trading, not only is it good because they're behind, it's good because they can go back to farming much more quickly than Rattlesnake overall. You've got Wisp and you've got Prophet. So when the gank ends, you just go back to farming. Of course, Rattlesnake still keeping the pressure up. Earn now up on Icy. And they do have an absolute free farm gyro, stacking the Ancients. That's a lot of golems.
Yeah, it is. And Flat Cannon will be working towards them in a bit.
They're multiplying, Limby.
I didn't know that they could do that.
Yeah, I don't know how golems do it, but they just keep on coming. More and more, faster and faster. Easy kills for that gyro, though, once he gets enough farm. Dignitas still have not done anything to contest these Ancients. I would have liked to see a ward, maybe a little bit of scouting from Treants, but so far, just not doing anything. When you see the Helm of the Dominator, you know what Gyro's up to.
I really like the fact, I think the name of the game, as you pointed out earlier, is pressure. If you look at Icy on the bot lane, normally that's a very dangerous spot to farm at, but he says, I just can't let AUI just do whatever he wants on the bot lane. So he sends himself down there and at least harass him a little bit, but he might be running into a gank party. Here we go.
Rune for Snake King. Fog's there. The Radiant Ward does spot out the rotation of the Weaver, but he'll simply retreat out. And the one thing Rattlesnake also have going for them is that Weaver is very hard to lock down. Even if you relocate, if he Sakuchi's away immediately, by the time, and he does it away from the direction you're coming from, by the time you get there, he might just be gone.
I really think that Rattlesnake is kind of well equipped to deal with the Wisp. You talked about Weaver as being a hard to kill hero. Chaos Knight fairly tanky. Call down and BKB almost up on Gyrocopter. That's going to be an issue for Dignitas as well. And let's not forget about Song of Siren as a free disengage anytime they want to use it. Blinding Light's not too bad as well if Sagam is not caught in it. So I feel like Rattlesnake as a whole team, they are pretty well equipped to deal with the Wisp relocate.
And still, all of a sudden, it's actually the Rattlesnake supports by far the most underleveled. Level 6 on the Naga Siren, level 6 on the Keeper of the Keeper of the Light as well. These two are just not finding the levels, Lumi, and somehow, someway, Way Too Sexy has been parked in this vicinity in the off lane with no tower to protect him, and Rattlesnake have not yet punished it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Way Too Sexy goes, level 2, 4 minutes in, and now actually is a decent, well-leveled support. He's only a level behind his carry player, so yeah, he's doing quite well. Good recovery.
Remember,
and again,
he was level 2 when other supports were level 5.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it, but I think that solo kill, for example, that he got earlier was a big part of it.
Yeah,
but again, the pressure is the name of the game, and Rattlesnake has really scaled it back. And it's not about just in-game pressure, but if you want a Total's player sitting in those booths and you just can't find farm anywhere, anywhere you go and you think you'll get ganked, that's kind of the pressure that is also very hard to deal with. And Dignitas has breeding room, and they're looking for kills.
Remember, you win this best of 1, you win one more, you're in the money. So it's a lot of pressure. Best of 1, there's no game 2, there's no insurance policy here.
In lane here, we're going to see a lift.
Going in, onto land, thrown back into the tether. And once again, Dignitas finding a kill. A late Song of the Siren by Kabu does nothing, and Dignitas will disengage. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Icy farming some trans. But the thing is, Lumi, they didn't use relocate for that.
Timbersault's not done yet. He sees Sagam. That's a free go. No, he doesn't want to do it.
There's no song. So if you're Dignitas now, this is like a team not having Ravage. It's a big opportunity to dive towers and really force those fights.
They are respecting the power of Luo. They haven't seen him in the map for a bit. They don't know whether he has a BKB or not. And speaking of that BKB, it's coming right now. If you dive against Luo, he could just dish out a ton of damage. Of course, a Helm of Dominator on him also gives him a ton of armor, which will be important against Morphling a little bit later on.
Yeah, they're getting the core items up on Rattlesnake. Now your Chaos Knight, I imagine Lamb, drums completed, will work towards a BKB. And BKB is so good against Wisp because it blocks the Tether Stun, it blocks the orb damage, and it means that you can really force the fight instead of running for dear life as soon as you see that Wisp.
Yeah, I'm actually quite concerned for Lamb, despite having a drum up. You saw how he just melted in that engagement. Timbersault's pure damage output says, don't care if you're strength hero, I'm going to just dish out so much damage that you're going to drop like a fly. So look towards snaking, keep making those plays. By the way, he's also very close to that Bloodstone. And once you get that Bloodstone, he just entered in this, I'm kind of immortal territory.
Yeah, the hero's already hard to kill. Give him additional regen, give him extra lives, and give him, or rather, quicker returns to the fights. He spends less time dead with the Bloodstone, and he can do more. But a relocate to the top lane. Lambie's already crit an illusion, but Dignitas are not fooled. Lamb in trouble. Lamb could be going down. And what started as a 2-0 game is now 4-3. Dignitas keeping the dream alive here and starting. Is this the beginning of a comeback?
What an odd game plan. Let's gank the tankiest strength hero on the enemy team, kill them, and get their tower. I think Dignitas, they're finding that breeding room. They're getting a ton of things to do in the map. And guess what? Split pushing is now online. Universe had that Shadow Blade for a long while.
He's the king of many things, the Snake King, and he's apparently a king of the runes. Another DD for this guy. Not that the Timbersault particularly needs it, but everything starting to turn towards Dignitas. Finding their farm, holding on to the towers. AUI 2000 working towards his Linked Sphere as well, and Universe pushing the top lane. And now the split push starts to become a problem. Universe pressuring one lane, the Morphling another. Rattlesnake constantly reacting, never forcing the fights. And now a Shadow Blade out from Universe. It's a ticking time bomb, Lumi. Even, it's not the relocate ganks by themselves. It's the threat that's keeping Rattlesnake on the back foot.
It's very hard for Rattlesnake to deal with this. There's a couple of ways you could deal with it. If they split push you, you push them back. But as you saw in the mid lane, Timbersault says, here's my little friend Chakram, and you're not going to push against that. So Rattlesnake, they're kind of running out an option, and now the creeps are back to their side. Now, this team does go quite late. When you have heroes like Chaos Knight, when you have heroes like Gyrocopter, you're not afraid going into the late game. But on the outside, this Waterman is also kind of dangerous. So I don't think Rattlesnake is in a comfortable position as they were 10 minutes ago.
If you're Dignitas, you do want to be selective about your team fights. You don't want to force a 5-on-5 engagement against a Gyrocopter like this. He is going to do a lot of work. You also have mass AoE damage from the Naga Siren Riptide, from the Illuminate. So I like how Dignitas is playing it. Not forcing fights, sitting back, split pushing. Even if they get ganked, they're only losing 1 or 2 at most. They're not really getting into a situation where 3 or 4 heroes fall and they suddenly risk giving up Roshan, which, by the way, Rattlesnake have a very strong and potent lineup for taking down Roshan in a hurry.
Dignitas don't want to fight.
They sense it. They're going to tether out. Fogged on the run. There is a Song of the Siren available. Not being used just yet. It's a long way to go. And still Kabu giving chase. Fogged scouting things out with the orbs. They are retreating back. And a smoke gank for Rattlesnake. So far amounting to zilch. They continue to chase. It's all the way from the bottom tier 1. They're going into mid. And Fogged is still there. He's got a tether. But he gets stunned. And he will go down. Make
Now-
it 4-4.
That might have looked like an exciting kill for Rattlesnake fans out there, but I'm going to say they have lost gold in that gank because that was 5 heroes going into the enemy jungle, not farming. They're going to try to get a Roshan out of it, but our good friend Universe up top says, you're losing more towers, you're losing more damage on your tier 3 tower.
Rattlesnake now straight into the Roche pit. There is a relocate available. There is a Prophet ult available. Nothing scouting the pit yet, but Snake King's about to. He'll throw out the chakram here. They know what's up. The jig is up for Rattlesnake. Will Dignitas engage? They have relocate. Let's wait and let's find out. Zagab on the high ground. Roche is down. No relocate yet. Are they coming in? There's your song. Snake King fighting the solo kill, but might be in trouble. He's got a Timber Chain. Where's he going to throw it? The song's about to end. Wait, relocate. Into the fight they come. Here's Fog. Song was stolen. Song was stolen. And they're backing off. One down and they get out. They do have the Aegis.
Look at the top lane, absolute magicians. Dignitas says, I saw you in the mid lane with a stolen one, and we're pushing up top. Universe got like 1,000 damage on that tier 3 tower. Rattlesnake are just getting outplayed.
Yeah, Rattlesnake outmaneuvered so far this game, not finding the pickoffs, constantly reacting.
Nice
It's a
deny.
tower denied by Icy. Well played on the bottom lane.
Oh,
they
Snake
try to
King.
bring down Snake King, but he's hard to kill. The reactive armor charge is going up quicker and quicker, but not
Nice
dying.
block.
There you go. Down Snake King falls. Did not use the suicide on the Bloodstone, so will give up a kill. But again, Dignitas can give up kills because they're split pushing. They have the more mobile lineup, and even if you find one kill, you can't push off of that. Despite finding kills, Rattlesnake are not securing map control for themselves. They have wards, but the lanes are pushing against them.
Very similar to that Wisp kill earlier. Oh, back in the mid lane, talk about that a little bit. Wisp in big trouble. A couple more hits is going to do it, and they do pick him off. I mean, getting that kill on Snake King on the bot lane was nice and all, but it wasn't a very expensive kill because AUI has got the tower hit. He's got a ton of farm now. He's got the Lincoln Sphere almost being finished. And suddenly, you're not only dealing with Universe's Prophet up in this hot lane, you're also dealing with the Lincoln Sphere Morphling, and you just simply don't have enough nukes to deal with everybody.
Yeah, Rattlesnake do suffer a bit for lockdown here. You've got a Naga net, but that isn't hard lockdown. You can still waveform out of that. You can still tether out of that. There's a lot of ways to get out of it. Weaver can be locked in place by it. He does have a BKB now. I just feel like Rattlesnake is getting the teams mixed up here, Lumi. But it feels to me like Rattlesnake, sure, they've got a lot of damage, but they just can never pick a fight that's to their liking.
Yeah, and you can see that a support hero, 24 minutes in game, is farming in front of the tier 2 tower. He could do that because there's a Wisp on the team. And here we go, Universe.
Lamb's in danger.
Yep.
In comes Shadowblade Universe. Relocate.
No go.
Available.
Why no go?
They are a little bit in the dark here. You look at the vision for Dignitas, and they don't know where these other heroes are. Luo's off the map. The Naga's off the map. So I actually think really smart by Dignitas not to engage. They could have gotten the kill, but it would have been just rolling the dice.
Right, and that's kind of how Dignitas made the comeback, right? They take fights where they think it's a safe kill, and if it looks a little bit dicey, they don't go for it. They haven't made too many mistakes apart from their kind of early game difficulties, and they're making a spectacular comeback. But is Rattlesnake out of this? I mean, I talked about their late game power earlier, and really I think they could take it ultra late.
I agree. They need more items. Lamb needs a BKB. We're 25 minutes in. CK not the best flash farmer and just didn't have free farm in that off lane. He needs a BKB. Gyro is Luo's fine. He's secured his farm and he'll continue to. But you look at a hero like Nago, Kabu would love to get some more items, be able to tank up through a tether stun and still get off Song, because right now if he gets caught, to me he dies without doing a thing, and that's a big problem for this team.
Speaking of Song, way too sexy Song's about to cool down. So interesting that
Yeah,
you could perhaps initiate with that, but it runs out.
It's going to end. It's only a level 1 Song. 3-minute cooldown, the spell steal lasting just that long as well.
Well, that's kind of unfortunate. Rattlesnake Leo kind of putting himself in position on the mid lane, in position to be jumped upon. He's not too afraid of anything at this point because of that Aegis of Mortal. I think for Team Dignitas, you just wait out that Aegis. Says, I'm not going to take the fight to you. We farm better, we farm faster, and we have AUI, who, by the way, has he actually seen the enemy hero this game? Because he's just going at the PvE, as he said it in that introduction.
Yeah, is this World of Warcraft? Because right now he's just farming like there's no opposition whatsoever, sitting back freely in the bottom lane, not being challenged. Rattlesnake, I feel like if they could find a 5v5 fight, they'd still do fantastically. But Dignitas are in the driver's seat. They get to choose when the fight's happening. Rattlesnake do not. And that's not going to change unless one of these heroes gets some additional lockdown, which seems a long way off.
Weaver thinking about setting up some play in the mid lane, just doing a little bit of denying. He's got his BKB, so he could play kind of ultra aggressive. And again, Rattlesnake is trying to bang their hard head against Chakram, and it just doesn't work. The Screed Wave's getting demolished.
Will the snake shed a new skin here? Are we going to see Rattlesnake adopt a different strategy? Because this one doesn't seem to be working.
Lane.
Universe breaking the high ground. Glyph forced out. Will there be a TP reaction? Naga, Son online. Could Son and then TP? Well, for the time being, they're just defending bottom. It's, again, a two-pronged assault. And Universe is going to just simply Shadow Blade and run away. I'm just looking at this Rattlesnake map control, and this is about the region of the map that they can actually do anything within. Because beyond that, you got to go defend.
And that region is shrinking because we are pushing every single lane. Mid lane, perhaps a little bit trouble. And keep in mind that Dignitas always got the ace up their sleeves, right? The relocate means you just never go there anywhere by yourself. If you go as a unit of one, you're in big trouble, unless you're Luo, because he has Aegis and BKB.
Look at that gold graph. It was at one point a 4,000 gold deficit for Dignitas. They now lead by 2,000. Experience still slightly towards Rattlesnake's favor, but basically irrelevant. It's that close. Icy on the bottom lane. Way too sexy, looking to catch him out. He's got Flat Cannon. Not the ideal spell for a Rubik, but it sure looks cute while he's using it. And for Rattlesnake, I feel like they're cornered at this point. They just cannot control the game.
They really can't. Dignitas well ahead, and if you look at the items coming out from Team Dignitas, a couple of key ones. Way too sexy, close-up Blink Dagger region where he's going to continue to make those spectacular plays. Nature's Prophet's got the Scythe of Ice, and that's generally an indication that one team is really going late. Of course, we have a Shiva's Guard attempt on Timbersaw. Once these kind of big items come out, it's very, very hard for Rattlesnake to win these 5v5 team fights, which LD thinks, they're still kind of ahead on.
Yeah, teleport. As the game goes on, it becomes less clear if they actually are ahead there, because now AUI 2000 gets to a point where he can just instantly shotgun. Even a hero like Chaos Knight, he might be able to bring him down to a third HP, and then CK's done for the fight. But Weaver, if he doesn't get off BKB quickly, if it's on cooldown, is food. And, well, you see Kabu does pick up some additional HP here. Power Treads and a Bracer, so not the easiest hero to go on, but Dignitas, great pick-off potential. Can Rattlesnake act, even if they have 5 heroes there, do they get to live long enough to fight a 5v5, or do they instantly lose 1 or 2 and then have to fight it out 3 or 4v5?
I'm not too sure whether Rattlesnake could make it out alive, and that's kind of big issue. And that's strange, right? When you have heroes like Weaver, when you have heroes like Chaos Knight, they are supposed to be survivable. And so far, they're not. Teleportation up top by Universe, and he's thinking to make some play. There's the Sentry Ward down here. Relocate comes, and they're going to go with Lua. Lua does have the BKB, but they're okay. Oh, here comes the Psalm counter initiate. They got to focus on Fog, I think.
This is very bad. Cooldown's available. It's going to hit pretty well. No snaking. Jumping out. Universe, the only one dead so far, and it looks like our Wisp maybe. No, Fog's okay. Nope. Relocates back to safety. So they go in, but again, when they screw up Dignitas, they lose 1. It's not the biggest loss. They won't even lose a tower off of this. Unfortunately, Roshan's still down, so they're fine there too.
Yeah, they're absolutely okay. I mean, you lose 1, you lose your Nature's Prophet, which is never a good thing. Sagam, in a little bit of trouble. He should be fine.
It's not fun for these supports. I mean, I was talking about the Morphling with an Ethereal Blade, which AUI 2000 is going for, and I think it's a great item for multiple reasons. But it's also Snakecane. Massive pure damage coming out from him, and it's tough for any support to deal with that.
Well, the King of Rudens does it again. Another double damage. Not that he really needs it.
Unfortunately, kind of useless for
Timbersaw. It's like, oh yeah, I hit for 160 now. Oh wait, they don't really care.
Look, Ma, it's like you have a jet engine, but you don't have the rest of the jet. What does it do for you? So he can get off some auto attacks, but very minimal at that. Dignitas still keeping the pressure on this top lane, and this will become more important when Roshan respawns. It's really going to be up to Universe, and they're going away too sexy now. He's in trouble, caught out by Lamb, and cleaved down. Relocate comes. Here's Snakecane. Say hello to him. They'll shock from out. Fogged on the run. Fogged in trouble. Fogged down. Now waving over to Kabu. Kabu, well, we'll see a replica down. AUI says, bad fight. I'm going to get out of here. Snakecane now on the run. There is, however, a pull back in. A stun as well. Stun. He was short. He was short. He airballs it a little bit, and unfortunately, they lose 2. They lose 3, and now Roche is up soon. This is going to give Dignitas a little bit of trouble here. These lanes might get pushed out of Rattlesnake. That's the gateway into some map control for them.
I mean, even when Dignitas lose fights, they're going to make you pay for something, because Universe says, I'm now attacking your tier 2 tower. It doesn't matter when Dignitas lose fight, because all these fights are on the opposite side of the map. Even when Rattlesnake wins these fights, there's not much global objective for them to actually take. You're not pushing any towers. Roshan is back up really soon, so that can be a concern, but Team Dignitas is playing really well right now.
It's not that Rattlesnake can't win. They absolutely can. They've got 3 incredibly strong semi to hard carries in the Gyro, the Chaos Knight, the Weaver. Plenty of physical damage. Dignitas have some heroes that can be food in the mid game, in the late game. A Rubik with 850 HP. It's not that they can't win, it's just that Rattlesnake continue to have trouble finding fights and forcing them on their terms. They caught out Way Too Sexy, sure, but he was here. He was in the Dire jungle, way out in enemy territory and by his lonesome. And a crucial pickup, or at least it could be. AUI 2000 now secures himself an Ethereal Blade. Again, there are shotgun targets. The obvious ideal target is going to be something like that Keeper of the Light. Instant kill for this Morphling.
I mean, it's very easy for us to say, you know, Rattlesnake.
Oh man, here we go. Lamb Shadow Blade. Lamb's got a Shadow Blade, and I actually like this a lot. I was going to say earlier, I would like to see this Weaver maybe get something like a Sight Device, because I feel they need that ganking lockdown power, but this gives them an element of surprise they've been lacking.
I mean, it helps Rattlesnake to go on the offensive, but I don't think they will be going on the offensive.
It doesn't help you win the team fights.
Exactly. It doesn't help them to find anybody, because Dignitas, King of Turtles, I guess. You just don't find these guys. King of Ninjas?
At least this game. Fog now scouting out the pit, caught by Kabu. Is there a tether available? Tethering to AUI. There's your shotgun in your face, but now the song comes. They've caught 3. It could be a bad fight. Called out not available. No mana for it. They're not going to have this slow. Fog, can he get out? He heads north. The chakra comes through. Massive damage. Absolutely ridiculous from Snake King. He finds 2. Now Icy. 3 dead. That's 2 cores. And Dignitas are barreling down the middle lane. Leading, or even trailing 9-11, but leading in momentum.
They are very lucky that they have Keeper of the Light right now, because Keeper of Light is very good defensive support, but Morphling says, I don't care. I don't care if I have creeps, because I'm going to just hit on your towers.
Lamb, he's found a solo kill. The Shadow Blade pays off, but now the stolen call out maybe going to be used against him. He's slowed, and he will go down.
Top Rax in huge trouble right now. Glyph is going to get forced out.
He's got buyback here if he needs it too.
Well, speaking of buyback, Chaos Knight's right back. He's going to try to make some play, but who do you kill? I guess you go for Way Too, but he's surrounded by 4. Gem gets picked up. He gets lifted. There's a Hex on him. He's going to go down. What's throwing the fights on the back line, but they don't care. They're going to focus on the Rax, and Dignitas
out of nowhere, 1 lane of Rax. Dignitas seemed like the momentum was against them in the laning stage, but they held on. Way Too Sexy, level 2 at 5 or 6 minutes. All of a sudden, 13, 3.2k gold, and Dignitas are going for the jugular. They're going for the GG, grouped up at mid. 2 lanes of Rax can be coming in against Wisp, against Prophet. Good luck leaving your base, Hell Lumi. Good luck leaving your fountain.
Well, they're definitely out of the fountain just yet, trying to defend this Rax, but it's done. More or less a pyrrhic victory here for Rattlesnake. They may have ushered them out of the base, but Dignitas have left on their own terms.
It's a best of 1 Rattlesnake. They may fight until the throne falls, but it will be very hard to hang on from here.
Especially when AUI sees a big Rockman.
Yeah, AUI 2000 maybe looking for a bit of revenge here. Not against Lamb's Rockman from the International 2, but against the Roshan Rock. And it's online now for Rattlesnake. They have Song of the Siren. I think they can win a fight at Roche, maybe, just maybe, but even if they do, Universe can just TP in top. The Glyph, not online anymore, and he could just start working on the tier 4s and the throne. And what does an Aegis really buy you if you're Rattlesnake? They have to win, to me, like 5 or 6 big fights in a row. At least 3 or 4 to start working their way back into this game.
I think they have a shot of winning this game, but only if they get this Aegis, and I'll talk about that in a bit, because I don't think Dignitas will give you a freebie. Of course, Universe says, hey.
They could go in now. They're trying to scout it out with Fog, but Roche is dropping pretty low. In comes the Chakra. Zom's there. Are they going to finish the Rose? They're running. They're bailing. No, they want to fight. Call down deployed. Tethering down is Fog. AUI 2000 blows one up. Now on to Way Too Sexy. But while this is happening, Universe, your home won't be there for you. The Rage Rack's falling. Now Snake King standing strong. They blasted back. Luo trying to duke it out. Psyched up.
Dead.
Brought down. And that could be it. Rattlesnake triple kill against them.
Quad kill. AUI says you ain't going home. AUI maybe PVing really hard earlier, but just delivers. And that's why he's known as one of the best carries in the North American scene.
Team Dignitas, kings of dodging fights they don't want to take and taking the ones they do. The Snake King leading the way, and here they go.
GG.
And it's a GG. Rattlesnake, your wild card team is going home. The first team knocked out of the International 3 main event.
Came a long way. It was just 5 players, no managers. It was a tough roll, but
what a performance from Team Dignitas. Backs against the wall, they deliver.
And of course, the crowd chanting Team USA. There's Canadians on the team too. Just like to remind everybody out there.
Apparently, we're all American today.
Right.
Unfortunately for Rattlesnake, they came a very long way. They had their moments. They came close in a lot of games, but the group stages, they just didn't have enough to get into the winner's bracket. And this is, someone has to go home.